Hey out there, we're doing this thing called Love Sounds Like a Plan. And today what we're going to do is, because a lot of relationships are supposed to be based on trust, but a lot of relationships are based on I trust that I can tell you exactly this much and hide this much from you and you won't find out. And that in itself causes a failure of relationships. How about this? How about ask the tough questions?
Question. Well, first of all, everybody, I'm the significant person that is going to be the other half of this podcast.
My apologies for not introducing you.
And secondly,
She'll beat me tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think my microphone is working.
did you turn it on?
Yes, I did. Maybe I need to turn it off.
You have to push it harder.
No, it's on. The blue light's on.
Oh, you push it on at the bottom, push it again at the bottom.
Is that original sound on? It doesn't sound like
Turn it up, you turn it down.
Is it turned up? Is it turned down? It's not doing nothing.
Your phone dying?
My phone charged.
Okay, well, why you look at it like it was a problem?
No, I just looked down to see and make sure that what the percentage is at. And maybe that was a problem. Maybe that was a problem. I had a, it's not that the battery was dying. That wasn't a problem either. I had to turn it off and turn it back on again. And what the hell you got going on in life?
Original sound on.
What I'm trying to figure out right now is the fact that
Original sound on.
why this beat.
Magical voice 2.
I'm trying to.
Magical voice 3.
I would like.
Magical voice 4.
And then I hear a click and I know to shut up.
Original
See?
singing mode.
Thank you very much.
And I'd be wrong if I just knocked the bitch off the wall, wouldn't I? I wasn't talking about the, well, yeah, I was talking about the bitch talking, but I wasn't talking about the actual living one, and she's not a bitch. Let's get that established. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the automated bitch over here. I don't mean it in disrespect. I'm just a man that, just lays things real blunt and plain, and I have a tendency to say some shit, and I don't mean nothing.
My volume.
If you don't stop.
I just need a little moment to tell everybody, welcome to our podcast. We're making the beat.
Oh yeah. My apologies for my tirades. I have a tendency sometimes to lose myself in the music the moment.
So I'm almost done, and then we're gonna go to our podcast.
And I actually was in the middle of trying to figure out why every time I hear one of these beats, I think, God damn, Jenny slaps the fuck out of the beat.
Now I like this for, I'm trying to figure out what else to put in it though. I said, is me banging? Yes, it's you. What do you think that it needs, boo-boo?
See, I'm being put on the spot here. It's not fair. Not even at all. See, we've been actually working on my freestyle, right? Because I'm like, when it comes to bars, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got probably the best bars planet Earth has ever seen. I'm not joking.
Yeah, he did.
I have metaphors that your greatest rapper would be like, ain't no way this nigga thought of that shit. That's different. But I can't rap none of it for shit because I talk I sound more white than Eminem. Let's just put it like that. I mean, just tell it like it is. When I get on the microphone, for some reason, my pronunciation becomes even more proper.
I know, and it's okay. I tell him maybe all the time.
Any chance for rhythm that might have existed
he does
falls by the wayside. Like I'm gonna even give y'all a little 30-second sample once she puts up one of these beats that's hard enough and let y'all see exactly how off I can be. I'm hitting the ball from. Oh, I was just about to.
I don't know why you doing that when you're supposed to be making a beat and you're supposed to be telling me if you like this sound and I'm not rapping on the beat.
Well, if I picked that one to rap on, that means it was a hell of a beat.
That's not how it goes. You're just supposed to listen and be supposed to move forward.
Oh, so I'm
You're not supposed to be laying a whole song on the beat while we making it.
Man.
And that's the cool part.
Well, you didn't even wait for my head. Let's see. I think that beat's missing something.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm trying to work on. You're supposed to be focused.
But I can tell you exactly what it's missing. I heard enough of it to know what it's missing. It's missing me rapping on it.
And there you have it. He's saying that the song was missing him rapping on it before I'm finished with it.
No, I
And
said
he's
the whole
supposed to be
beat.
making the beat.
The beat is missing me rapping on it. The beat's done, so now it's missing me rapping on it.
How is the beat
It's
done?
crying. It's heartbroken. You didn't hear it. It's missing
The
me.
beat's not done. What do you mean it's done? How is it done?
Did you hear how hard that beat went?
It only has 3 tracks on it. You don't have all the rest of the stuff.
You know, sometimes some things that you don't. It doesn't require a lot of ingredients. It just requires the right ingredients in the right things, and you make the perfect dish. I have tasted somebody's what was it they made? It was asparagus. They used salt and pepper and olive oil. I don't know how they mixed these three things together, but I have never ate asparagus as good as that asparagus was that day in a regular old pan. Maybe they put crack in the asparagus. Who knows? Those 3 tracks in perfect unison. That's a wholly done beat. Yeah, that's done. Yeah, can I get a little bit of that? Because there's this little piano playing off in the background. I want to see if I can get what your brother tried to teach me about.
I'm sorry.
And I still can't get no love, no lollipops.
I'm sorry, I didn't like that beat right there that I put in there.
You didn't. That beat go hard, son.
No, it's not that. I added something, and because you're not listening, you didn't hear it. But I'm making the beat, so I was trying to put the little ingredients to finish it off, okay? It wasn't about me not listening to you. It's just about you not listening to me because I said that he was making the beat, babe. And you just went on about rapping before you even got finished with the beat.
Because the beat was made.
The beat. I don't understand why you said the beat was made.
That beat was as done as I've heard a beat finished before, if ever a beat was finished in my lifetime.
You know, I'm telling you that, like, it's missing hats, a snare. It's missing so much stuff.
I didn't hear a lack of hat and snare. I honestly didn't.
Okay.
Let's see that one.
Well, I'm just going to leave it like this and come back to it later. And then ask my question. So,
Okay.
the question I have
Alrighty,
is,
so now we're at a question.
what do you think people value in life?
What do I think people value? What? See, that's the thing. What people value in life isn't something I can,
Generally.
in general, if we're counting the general public, which excludes me because I am not part of the general public. So what I speak on that I think people value may not even include whoever is listening to this, because you might not be part of the general public, because I am pretty sure that if you're listening to this, you're not like a MAGA person or something like that. Like you're not one of those mainstream people that you're watching on TV. I'm starting to wonder if those people are made up, because everybody I speak to is not that kind of person. But they looks like so many of them all of a sudden scare you. But I think the general public values appearances.
That's a very good observation. I agree in that in a lot of terms, especially since people are addicted to social media and it's so much AI going on. People have opinions and feelings shaped on these things. So I can't agree with that. It is about appearances. But when you have some sort of, situation, and you think about how people like have kids and families, and they all have life that they work for every single day, doesn't it seem like somebody would like notice the lack of focus that is occurring amongst people?
Who would notice that if nobody's focused on that focus?
I can say that when I'm on social media these days, I do see a lot more people who seem to be woke, but I mean, AKA like, just paying attention to the real world. But at the same time, I feel like, we still have that whole thing going where people are, you know, not realizing that they need to look deeper into the things going on in the world today, like past just the news, but just doing their own self-evaluation of shit going on around them.
Well, I think that there's a difficulty in that because in this current form of the information age, again, appearances are valued by the general public. So what ends up happening is you go out there looking for information like that, and you can't be 100% sure that what you get is correct. You'd be surprised how many different things that about what might shape your world or what might shape your today is told in different ways as to how it came to be at this point.
And also I feel you because then also you have to be able to like what will make a person feel so sure about what it is they know. You know what I mean? Or I guess or what it is they're hearing, right? And then on top of that, we've been trained to not believe our own intuition so heavily that it's second guessed almost instantly.
It's not even that it's second guessed almost, it's discounted instantly as the wrong thing. Like, oh no, that's not right. That instant, that you call it a knee jerk reaction sometimes that you see in me. That's because I don't take the time out to inhibit the physical jump that it gives me in those situations because those situations are, and they're in chess. They're in chess. I've done something that I obviously should have known not to do. Like it's a move that I've looked at and already said, I can't make this move, so don't make this move. And then in the course of things, I go back and make that move, and that move costs me the game or something like that. That's when you see that.
And this is what brings me to the question about chess, which is...
So, but let me finish that piece of explanation, because that is my spirit saying, hey, that's what you get for jumping ahead of yourself and not forget and not remembering the boundaries that you've set. Again, from chess, I get this lesson, and I've been getting better and better at it.
What's the boundaries?
The boundaries are the moves that I refuse to make, and then something happens and I end up going back and making those moves, even though I wasn't supposed to.
So when you make, what makes you not want to make those moves in the first place?
The fact that they will cost me the game, because in the end they do cost me the game. So
how is it that you have to move those moves anyway?
I was not supposed to move those moves. That was the problem. I would be, and it's usually at some point when I decide, not when I decide, when it's obvious on the board that I have regained some sort of, position, or I can go on the offensive. Mm-hmm. I'll forget that piece was defending the spot that it was defending, and I'll move it for offense, and I won't have neutralized whatever it was that made that position such a pivotal position. I'll just go on offense instead of solidifying that defense might not even be necessary. It's a huge mistake to make in chess. It costs games, and it's a huge mistake to make in life. It costs achievement.
So my question to you lies in this. This is the question I have. What makes you do this move that you feel like you could have done better? And what makes you not do it better?
Well, it doesn't exactly work like that per se, because it's a move like it. Considering that you don't really play chess, it's hard to explain.
I do play chess.
Oh, I've never seen you play
I don't
chess.
play chess, but I know how to play chess.
Okay, so say you have a knight,
Hmm.
and that knight's in a spot whereby if that where that knight's at, it's holding them from putting you in check and possibly even checkmate. Because where that knight is at, the spot their queen or their piece that would be, causing that issue would be able to get taken by that knight. So the game goes on, they leave that alone, they start doing some other stuff. They make a blunder, but you never go back over to wherever that little pivot point was at. And it's never addressed. So that was there. But then you're over here now and you see an opening and you go to attack that opening and you see that horse and you say, oh, if I put that horse here, then I can, free up some pieces or something to actually, further do some damage and get further in there. Or you might even see a check.
But isn't the
But you have to do all that.
But isn't the missing piece the fact that you don't know what the other person's gonna do?
Well, that's always the thing.
Yeah, so when making those choices, are you saying because you have to take a gamble or
No, this has nothing to do with it because you literally, it's like you forget not to do that in changing because you can't always be on offense and you can't always be on defense in life. You're gonna be on offense sometimes. You're gonna have to play defense sometimes. There's no middle ground. You're either playing offense or you're playing defense in life.
okay? So that's my point. So why is it that you be? But where does the are you playing? Okay, so are you playing offense or are you playing defense?
That's the thing about chess. You have to know when it is proper to play offense and defense and what sides of the board to play.
I'm not playing games, and I don't have a personal office. I am a large
Don't
one.
shut up. Nobody asks you shit.
Wow.
What was I explaining now? That's crazy how Google can just be so interruptive.
So you're saying that when you play chess, you never play defense or offense one side. You always play both sides.
Well, it depends on the flow of the game. Like really, anything in life, it's like a Tai Chi type vibrational energy thing. Like some energies you accept, you don't defend against them, you accept them. Some energies you actively defend against. No energy do you go out and attack, because that's just not, yeah. So basically, offense would be the willingness to accept the energy, and defense is the unwillingness to accept the energy. So in every facet of what we do, we're playing offense and defense. And as such, we've got to know when. So on a chessboard teaches you the concept of offense and defense, not just on a physical three-dimensional realm. That's the beauty of chess. It teaches your mind to know what feels like offense, what feels like defense, the difference between the two, and how not to get your defense compromised when you switch to offense, so that you don't have to switch back to defense right quick, or you don't end up losing your achievement because you forgot what your defense was and basically your foundation. You lost your foundation going after this thing. Now you don't have your foundation, nor do you have that, and you've lost your most important piece. You've lost the game.
So in essence, by trying to do both, you still end up losing.
By not knowing when to do both properly, or forgetting what to do in the operation of both, yes.
So how could you possibly know if you don't know what the next person's going to do?
Because it has nothing to do with the next person.
How?
Because that person does not pick up every one of your pieces and moves it.
Okay, so that means you would be playing offense.
What do you mean?
That means you couldn't be playing defense.
What do you mean? You have a king. Your king is, you have to defend against them attacking your king. You have to, the offense is going after their king.
So, but how does that have to do with you knowing what they're going to do? How does that mean you don't need to know what they're going to do?
Well, that's not, it's not the opponent that matters. It's the pieces on the board and what you, It's you and the pieces. It's not your opponent. That's the greatest thing about chess. For as brilliant as your opponent can be, it never is really about your opponent in any facet of it. Just like in life, it never really is about who you're up against. Because the only person you're really up against is yourself. And it is your ability to measure. A, you gotta know strategies, moves. B, you gotta be master at your craft. That's first and foremost. If anybody wants to do anything in life, master that thing you want to do. But even after that, then it becomes chess. That's when it becomes chess. So if you're an amateur, you're not going to be able to play chess anyway. It is what it is. But once you master something, that's when the chess game comes. And you've got to know, okay, first off, at all times, it's offense and defense. At all times, it's both. But you have to know when it's both based on experience, knowledge, and a feel for what's going on. If you know all the pieces, like what did you say? When you
Nothing else to sing?
you can sing
Anything.
that thing, right? That thing you do right there. It's the same way. If you understand the concepts of offense and defense and how to play and what the field is for and whatever you're doing, oh, you're gonna wade through that thing. You're gonna checkmate that thing. You're gonna achieve. You're going to achieve. You're going to get. You're going to succeed. You're going to get where you want eventually, as long as you push at it and keep moving those pieces. But you gotta know your strategies.
Okay.
You gotta know your end game, and you gotta keep your eye forever on that, regardless of the little things going on, so that you don't forget when it is correct to attack and when it is correct to defend, and what pieces to use to do what.
So basically, you're saying that chess requires that you do both and know when.
Yes, because you might have one move that seems insignificant, where you were supposed to attack, but instead you moved the pawn up. You just decided, let me just push this pawn right here because this pawn is gonna, free up some other guys for me to do some other stuff. I don't need to attack yet because their position on isn't good. They're hunkered down over there and they can't expand. They can't even bring their pieces out. But that pawn you move just so happens to make it so that a horse can drop it back behind it, or their rook is no longer pinned down by this other piece because you just moved the pawn that allows them to not have to worry about it being taken.
Okay.
You cause and effect. It will screw you
And
up.
so that's what I thought. It's about strategy too. Then strategy is major, right?
Of course, and that's the offense and defense part. That knowing when that's all the strategy. Because your strategy can change from one move to the next depending on what that other person does. But it's never about that other person. The idea that it's random anyway. So you try to narrow down the random as much as possible and make contingencies for each and every move that's made after that. An impossibility because there's a limit to the time that the human brain is allotted to decipher all the moves in chess. Because if you were to play a game of chess nonstop and keep playing chess, if everybody in the world played a game of chess and we got through one game of chess a day, everybody in the world, the sun would go red giant before we'd actually get to the point where we've played enough games to play every game of chess.
Wow, really?
Yes, it's that many. Something along the order of 36 trillion years. It's an outlandish number. I want to say it was like 926 trillion different versions of the way the game can go. Different possible way. The number was staggering. I was like, wow, I did not know that. Because think you've got 64 pieces on the board. You've got 16 pieces on each side.
And then they got ways where you can win in one move all the way to 2 moves, to 3 moves, to 4 moves.
Well, the least number of moves you can win is 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would be called a fool's mate. A fool's mate is when you win in 4 moves. Mm-hmm. You move the king side pawn, bishop one way, queen one way, shoot the queen down, and boom. Or queen one way, bishop one way, shoot with the bishop. Shoot the queen down. It's something nobody should fall for, but I've fallen for it more times than I care to admit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah, I think I fell for it too, but
And that all goes to the mastering of the craft thing again. And that's why I play chess. I play chess now. At first, I was playing it to get good enough to the point where I'm at now, where now I'm playing it as I know I'm going to make mistakes. Let me measure my reaction to those mistakes and see in that reaction what I need to adjust in my brain so that I'll still be able to learn from the mistake that I've made, give it the same, attention that it deserves without such an emotional display of disappointment or self-reproach. This would be the good word for it.
Well, my point in talking about this was just to talk about the emotional standpoint that people have from experiences in life and just going through shit that, we don't process out or, because everything you can't plan for. So, for me, that's what I was talking about. I feel like even with planning for that, it's still a chance that it could go different. But the person, they still have a strategy too, and whatever their strategy is, you got to be ready for it at some point. I've seen from when I play chess, like if a person have a better strategy point than me, then that's usually when they win.
And the only thing about the strategy point that allowed that was, seeing. Of course, usually it's a more experienced thing because then they'll see, okay, this is the way to attack this person. These are the things I do to defend from anything they're trying to do. They're open here, they're open there. I can attack here and not risk anything. Seeing all that.
So when you're playing chess and the fact that you win all the time, you're doing a major amount of assessing what that person's going to play next. Mostly.
Actually, no, I'm not assessing what they're going to play next. I'm assessing my potential avenues of attack and my potential avenues of weakness or my openings. Where am I open at and where is he open at? What do I need to close and what do I need to expose on him? Or what do I need to expose the other side?
Oh, so you're mapping as you go.
Exactly. I'm mapping out a plan of attack. And the idea for me, this is my idea. There's a spot that his king is going to be vulnerable at. It's a square on the board. There's a square that if I can get the right piece to that square, his king is done. And I need a couple of other pieces to perform that. So I usually need about 3 pieces. Don't even necessarily have to be power pieces. 1 pawn and 2 power pieces. Actually, 2 power pieces if it gets down to the nitty gritty. 1 pawn and 2 power pieces if there's like a lot of pieces on the board. Between those 3 pieces, I can checkmate his king if I can zero in on that spot and not expose myself and keep all my pieces protected while doing that. That's my goal, and that's what I play for. And that spot can be anywhere on the board depending on the way they play. That's why I say your opponent shouldn't matter because you should have enough skill in the game to be able to just go off of what you're seeing played and what you know next works best for what you're seeing being done. That allows you to anticipate your opponent. Because if they're doing things that follow a pattern that say this is the way they're going to try to do things, you'll know exactly how to defend that. And you'll know when you have it defended well enough. Now, if it's defended well enough, I can start putting my pieces for attacking without compromising my position.
That's interesting. That's very interesting because it gives me a dynamic outlook on how probably other people move too in terms of when they're in their day-to-day lives.
Exactly. That is exactly what